Ito ni Manong Fishball, nadagdagan ng may bike.
Hanggang kabilang kalye, nagtitinda na rin kayo, Manong?
Ang notebook.
Sunod na taon, pati menu, nadagdagan.
Nax, may squid balls na.
Mahal kasi ang lapis. May kikyo pa dyan.
Bilib na bilib ako kay Manong Fishball. Akalain mong yung maliit niyang kariton, napalaki niya ng ganun? Ang nagagawa nga naman ng pangarap ng isang magulang.
Anong grade na ba yung anak nyo?
Tagal nang tapos sa mga bata. Ako naman ngayon.
Manong Fishball ang tawag sa kanya. Pero sa mga araw na yun, many years ago, higit pa sa fishballs ang binigay niya sa akin. He taught me na walang di natutupad na pangarap sa taong handang magsumikap.
Dami niya na.
Panghapunan.
Pantoga.
Atin ang pangarap. Atin ang pagsisikap. Atin ang mundo. Globe.
Year after year, one thing has remained constant. Our goal to ensure meaningful economic development and uplift the lives of the people we serve. Every time we energize our cities, fulfill the dreams of the many, forge genuine partnerships, connect ideas, design experiences, and solve our toughest challenges. We drive change for a better world. From a small town in the Visayas to our journey to become global, we will remain at the helm. Because our business is your story of firm foundations, purposeful growth, and the future that we share. Aboitiz, 100 years of advancing business and communities.
The idea of having a Green Ants Eco Hub in Arca South, Taguig City, started as early as 2014. The whole idea of the Eco Hub is to have a plastic waste collection point, a recycling facility, and at the same time, a manufacturing plant for green building materials. That whole concept is what we call the circular economy model. It's a new concept which we want to promote, and the key principle there is really to treat waste as a resource. And if we can convert this plastic waste into eco products and use these eco products into construction, then that's a tangible example that really the circular economy model is possible, so that we minimize the wastes that we are throwing away to the landfills and dump sites.
Together, we saw that we could provide a solution to part of the plastic problem. I say part because the waste problem is really big, and it will take more than just one company to do something about it. We saw that by providing an alternative destination for plastics, we are also able to encourage more people to separate and clean their plastic wastes. It's really important for people to start segregating their waste, and starting with plastics is one of the easiest ways to get into the habit.
In terms of the impact that the EcoHub created, in 2020, the EcoHub processed and converted around 28 metric tons of plastics into eco products or green building materials, since we are using this plastic waste to substitute some of the sand and gravel. In effect, we have also minimized our environmental impact related to the usage of sand.
Many of those who have contributed their plastics have reported that they've been able to cut down the amount of waste they produce by about 30 to 50%.
We cannot do it alone, neither the government nor the private sectors. But if we work together and collaborate, we have a good fighting chance that we can address this big waste problem.
All of us must continue to avoid producing more waste, but if we can't do that, we should keep our waste away from the dump sites.
This EcoHub is a tangible example that really we can treat waste as a resource and convert them into something useful, something of value. And with that, we can change the mindset of people that waste is only waste when we waste it.
A better future is built by the brave, envisioned by brilliant minds, born from the passions of thousands strong. One that isn't without risk, but protected from it. Safe from all the worries and secure for what's to come. Because a better future with the greatest empires, the strongest communities, and the happiest families will always be worth having. That's why the bold and the fearless understand that recreating something better takes courage and strength. So together, let's start shaping a better future today.
Good afternoon, mayors, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our 19th Livable Cities Lab, brought to you in partnership with the League of Cities and Globe Telecom. If ever you were wondering what happens to all the waste we throw away on a daily basis, this lab or webinar is for you. You are going to find out where uh, plastics, glass, metals, paper, anything that we throw for waste, you will find out where some of them, including electronic waste, ends up and how it can be turned into a new product, the so-called circular economy model. Most of the products that society produces follow a path, but this path oftentimes leads to waste and even pollution at the end of the product life cycle. A prime example is plastics, often used as packaging material, which, according to the World Bank in March 2021, say that a staggering 2.7 million tons of plastic waste are generated in the Philippines each year, and an estimated 20% ends up in the ocean. Is it possible to remove waste and pollution from the economic equation? What are the ways to repair, reuse, recycle, and return products or its components throughout its life cycle, essentially avoiding the waste basket and the dump site and the landfill in the process? Today, we are conveying this online conversation to explore the circular economy to take, make, use, and repeat with industry experts and NGOs. We're happy to have been able to assemble this distinguished panel of speakers and experts. Marian Bigum, a circular economy and plastic specialist consultant of the Asian Development Bank and currently based in Copenhagen. Robert Batumbacal, Philippine Country Director of Dow Chemical, Jingay Ontiveros, Vice President for Reputation Management at Aboitiz Equity Ventures, Romel Benig, President and CEO of Green Ants Builders, and Miguel Bermundo, Senior Manager for Sustainability and Social Responsibility at Globe Telecom. Today's session is going to be moderated again by Sui Suarez. He's been our moderator for pretty well, all of our sessions at the Livable Cities Lab. He is an energy industry professional with 25 years of experience in communications, corporate social responsibility, commercial oil products businesses, and project management at Shell. Today, he is currently the Vice President for Reputation Management at Aboitiz Power. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome Sui Suarez, our moderator for today. Over to you, Sui.
Good. Thank you, Bill, for the kind introduction. And welcome everyone to the Livable Cities webinar on the circular economy. Take, make, use, and repeat. Before we begin, let us review a few safety reminders. First, let's be aware of our surroundings while the webinar is ongoing, so that in case you need to stop due to an emergency, you may do so. And second, please stay safe and practice social distancing if you are out of your home. Furthermore, this webinar will be recorded and will be made available on the Livable Cities Facebook page. And an email will also be sent to you with the link to the video recording and the PDF versions of the speakers' presentations. Questions may be asked in the Zoom Q&A chat box. You'll find that at the bottom bar of your Zoom screen. You may vote on questions posted by others by clicking on the thumbs up icon next to the question. And some questions will be answered directly by our speakers or their staff in the chat box, while other questions may be parked for later and discussed during the panel discussion. If you are joining the webinar on Facebook Live, you may place your questions in the comments section of Facebook. And I see we have some people joining us in Facebook already. At the end of the webinar, we invite you to please fill up our feedback survey because your response will help us improve our Livable Cities Lab series. Now, this is actually our 19th for the past 2 years. You may also get their certificate of participation by answering the corresponding question in the survey. So currently, we have about just over 120 people, attendees, 120 attendees in Zoom and Facebook Live. And I thank you for spending your afternoon with us in the Livable Cities Lab. So before we get going, we'd like to ask a few poll questions. Let me see. Let's ask our direct. Yes, please. Our first poll question is, where are you joining us from? Nasaan kayo ngayon? And the choices are number 1, Metro Manila, or you can tick the circle there, rest of Luzon, or Visayas, or Mindanao. So let's just find out where are our audiences located this afternoon. Okay, good. So about almost an equal one-third split between Metro Manila and the rest of Metro Manila, rest of Luzon, and then Visayas and Mindanao. So almost a third each there. Thank you. And good afternoon to everyone. I have another poll question, and this is really related to our topic this afternoon. My question is, do you regularly recycle? Do you regularly recycle? No. So try to answer that question, yes or no. Let's see. Tingnan natin if people regularly recycle. What's the result? 58% yes. Well, that's so nice to hear. And then about 40% no. So I think this is an opportunity, para we can find out how we can recycle or get involved in the circular economy. Ika nga ng one of our speakers in the video earlier, waste is only waste when we waste it. Okay, so let us find how we can get our products out of the avoid the trash can, so that we can take, make, use, and repeat our resources. Okay, so let's get going now by introducing our first speaker, and that is Dr. Marian Bigum. So Marian or Dr. Bigum is the team lead for the ADB, Asian Development Bank cluster project, promoting action on plastic pollution from source to sea in Asia and the Pacific. Marian worked for the past 10 years with plastic prevention and recycling and establishing a circular plastics economy in Denmark and in Europe, including working directly with local industry, municipalities in Denmark on increasing plastic recycling and reducing plastic pollution. So joining us this afternoon, or actually this morning, because Marian is in Copenhagen, I'd like to welcome Marian into our webinar. Good afternoon, Marian. Good morning, Marian.
Good morning. I'm very excited to be here and to have such a large audience. I mean, that is exciting, and I really think that this agenda is exciting. So I'm just wanting to double check. Does everything look good with the sharing of the screen?
Yes, Marianne, we can see it. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
On to you.
On to me. So thank you for the kind introduction. I don't want to go further into who I am other than a circular economy plastic waste geek and have been so for many years. I have a background in engineering, which I'm going to highlight because my presentation today is it's going to be a lot on the engineering and the business side of it, but a major part of the work that we do for the Asian Development Bank on this project or in the Asian our project is really also on the societal aspects, on the engagement with the civil society, NGOs, on working with communities. But I'm not going to highlight that today, but I wanted to put it out there. So basically, just very briefly on the project that we have, and let me just check my time so that I can follow it. So I'm the team lead for this really interesting, great a regional TA project for the Asian Development Bank called Promoting Action on Plastic Pollution from Source to Sea in Asia and the Pacific. It really focuses on reducing the marine plastic pollution to restore river and ocean health. But the way that it does it is not by cleanup, and it's not only on recycling. It really is focusing on the upstream solutions, on developing and transitioning into a new type of economy where we produce much less waste to begin with. So it's a regional TA. The participating countries are Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, and a bit of Sri Lanka, actually, if it will pass through. Let's see. So we have so far a total budget of almost $13 million. I'm very excited about that. It means that we can really do a lot of change. We have, we'll be working we have been working on the project prep for the last year and a half, and we're just about to go into full implementation starting from January, and then we'll be active until December 2024. Thanks to all the donors also, and all the very many great partners that we've been working with so far. So just really briefly, what is plastic pollution? And I'm raising it because it is littering. I mean, our project is on ocean river health. So obviously what comes to mind when we talk plastic pollution is that it's littering. And it is that we are wasting a lot of plastic items that go into the environment, ocean as well as land-based nature, where it really increases environmental risk and risk to the ecosystem. But plastic pollution is also the production and use of virgin resources, because globally we are using increasingly amounts. You can see the figure here I have on the table, that really the use of plastic is increasing exponentially and will continue to do so unless we do something. Now, plastic is a great material. It's just a shame when we just use it once. So we really need to get into the circular economy. Because whenever you produce and use virgin resources, it really is, it's a climate gas pollutant. Similarly, plastic pollution is when you have open burning of plastic or waste to energy, and waste to energy can be good for a lot of things. And sometimes it is necessary. It's the only necessary. It's the only thing you can do. But it's just to say that being that plastic is a fossil-based material, when you incinerate it also leads to climate gas pollution. So as much as possible, we need to be keeping this carbon within the system and not emitting it to the atmosphere or the environment. Yeah. So we are looking into a future trend of continuously increase unless we do something, and that is what we're here to do today, all 120 participants plus the people joining on Facebook. So really, when talking about circular economy, it is important to be designing for circularity, not for disposal. And it means in this order to first and foremost design out waste and pollution. Can we do it in a simpler way? Can we have a delivery model that doesn't use single-use plastics? Can we have products that last longer, that can be repaired, that can be recycled? Can we use less material but obtain the same functionality? I mean, can we have less over packaging, stuff like that? So really, and the second one, keep products matures in use. This is where the recycling comes in. Well, the long lifetime of the products, but also the recycling of the materials. And then third and finally, regenerate the natural systems. Now, with regeneration of the natural system, that really is when you give the planet a chance to breathe. You know, if we're keeping that carbon out of the system, out of the atmosphere, we have a chance to regenerate the natural systems. But really the main focus here is we are shifting to a system. So it's the systemic shift, and it's the design for circularity, not just a design for disposal. And it's a different way of thinking, because we see the visual pollution of plastics in the environment. And obviously we need to be cleaning that out and stopping that from entering the environment, but we need to go beyond that. We need to make sure that we're circulating it. It's not just enough to be cleaning it up. We also need to make sure that we have all the systems in check behind it to make sure that we get that circularity that we're aiming for. So we can do a lot of things within this, and I only have 12 minutes. But one thing that I wanted to highlight today is the city level action plans. It's one of the things that we're working with in our project, and we really see it as a means to identify sources of local plastic pollution and prioritize actions. And it's not an invention that we did. I believe it was a WWF and some Norwegians that were working on this. So we're going to be doing this also in the 4 countries that we're working in. Now, the goals with these city level action plans are to reduce the unnecessary use of plastic and disposable items, to prevent marine pollution, and to support the local transition to a circular economy for plastics. A circle level action plan, in the way that we're implementing it, would be first to be mapping the existing solid waste management systems and the infrastructure for plastics. We need to be identifying where are the opportunities, where are the gaps. And then to be setting up a baseline to identify plastic waste hotspots and key leakages and the origin of these waste flows. So where's the plastic coming from that we're seeing in the environment? Now, with that baseline, we can go in and prioritize plastic product groups that we want to be addressing in the action plan. So for instance, if we're seeing a lot of straws or single-use packaging, we know that they should have a special focus in the city action plan. Obviously, everything here is working together with the local government units and government stakeholders. So with that priority plastic product groups, we can now go out and seek out the value chain and stakeholders for these plastic product groups. So who is it that we need to be contacting and working together in supporting with new solutions? We want to be analyzing the supply chains and these product groups with an emphasis on identifying which product groups have the highest potential for plastic pollution reduction through circular economy approaches, saying eliminate, innovate, circulate. So basically see where can we get, with our limited time, where can we get the most impact? And then finally, to be summarizing that into a city action plan with recommendations for an outreach program. So with identifying the problem, identifying the stakeholders to collaborate with, now the local government units would have something concrete to go out and work with and implement. So this is an example of eliminate, innovate, and it seems simple, and I'm actually quite happy about that, because a lot of the things that we want to do and a lot of the solutions we have to plastic pollution is actually the simple solutions. But this is an example of refilling in convenience stores, which is a means to avoid single-use plastics and go over to more multi-use plastics. So that's one example of how we see we can reduce single-use plastics packaging. Now, when it comes to circulate, one key thing that we'll be bringing in is the notion of high-quality recycling. High-quality recycling is recycling waste plastics into a quality way can substitute virgin fossil plastics. We want to be addressing high quality recycling because it gives a higher value of the recyclables. It gives an increased markets for the recyclables because we have an industry that's prepared to use it as a resource. And it really gives the environmental and climate benefits that we want because it substitutes virgin plastic production. Also, production. Now, in order to do this, we need to have effective and proper plastic waste collection as close to the source as possible. With the collection being as close to the source as possible, we have the best chance of getting a high quality where it's not contaminated, but also what we want to focus on traceability. If it's food grade plastics, then you can use it for new food grade plastics if it hasn't been mixed with other things. And that's really the difference between open loop recycling and closed loop recycling. In all of this, collaboration and dialogue with the industry, plastic and plastic producers is key because they are the ones that know what kind of qualities that they need and what the difficulties with working with existing plastic waste out there is. And we need that knowledge to make sure that we can go back to other producers and help them in designing for recycling. It also factors into the producer responsibility that is a hot topic on what is it actually they can do, and what producers can do is to be designing for recycling and obviously also for reuse. Now, let me just. So circular economy really is an opportunity for local green jobs, and I want to stress the local green jobs because this is really where our firm our project is trying to create change, and this both for reuse as well as recycling. The key partners obviously is the recycling sector, which can grow and be much bigger, and they should be supported. And it's smaller and larger plastic producing and plastic using industries that we want to be engaging with. Then is the commercial sector, shops, restaurants, tourism, and most importantly, the informal waste sector. We need to be building with them. And I see that you put on your camera, but I think I still have time, right? I have a few minutes.
Yes.
Okay. And with support and collaboration, what we really my recommendations would be to support and collaborate on innovations and investments in the reuse as well as the recycling sector. Whenever we invest in reuse, we create less waste, and that means less waste for solid waste management. And that is very important in societies where you want to be spending tax money on a lot of better things than waste. I mean, if we can design out the waste, we can use that money for something else. And then it is that we want to be supporting and collaborating on resource supplies. Plastic using industries and commercial actors in your local community need resources. And that is really where, from a local government unit point of view, you can see yourself as a supporter. And then again, green procurement strategies is a very big thing. Whenever you can, put in requirements for reusable plastic items and plastic items that can be recycled, and most importantly also that consists of recycled plastics, so that we are creating this market. I believe that was my last one, but let's see. It was.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So many more things to talk about. I'm looking forward
Great,
to
Marian. Thank you. I think it's a fantastic presentation. Lots of interest for sure from our audience. No, most of them are from cities and municipalities around the country. I love how you mentioned that the circular economy creates opportunities. One, for jobs. Two, to reshape the upstream solutions, to create upstream solutions, which I think are quite important, but also to work with communities, right, in order to, create, a new economy using reusing the plastic resource. And also, of course, if you reuse things, it creates an economic savings or economic efficiencies, right, for the resources of the country. So great stuff. Thanks. Please hang on. I think there are a few questions in the Q&A chat box, so feel free to jump in there and have a go at the answers. Before I go on to the next, thanks, Marian, and we'll see her later in the open forum. Before we go on to our next speaker, in case you just joined our webinar, you can put in your questions in the Q&A chat box of Zoom or in Facebook, and just put your questions in the comment section. You'd also like to, let's have another poll. Let's see, can we do another poll, Direct? And this poll question goes, what materials do you recycle? Ayan. Okay, this is multiple choice. You can choose more than one answer here. Okay. So let's see. We have almost 160 people on Zoom and a few more in Facebook. Can you try to just click on those boxes and let's see. Yeah. Wow, look at that. Plastics, 82%. Look at this, Marian, 82%. Paper, about 60%. Glass and bottles, great, about almost 70%. Metals, no, cans, scrap metal, almost 50%. Ang galing. So I'm really happy to hear that from our audience this afternoon. Let me introduce naman our next speaker. We have Roberto or Bobby Batumbakan, the Philippine Country Director of Dow Chemical. So Bobby is a third-generation chemical professional born to a family of chemists, chemical engineers, and manufacturing entrepreneurs. He is currently the Philippine Country Manager of Dow, the world's leading material science company. He held various Asia-Pacific regional positions in Dow, such as Commercial Excellence Leader, Marketing Manager, Sales Education, and Consulting Leader, and Sales Director for Dow's Performance Materials Division in Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, and Vietnam, and co-chair of Dow Asia-Pacific Global African Affinity Network. He is a US-trained and certified Six Sigma Black Belt and led global Six Sigma projects in the US, Canada, Spain, Japan, and China. Likewise, Bobby authors an advocacy website called Philippine Manufacturing Revisited to raise awareness on the strategic importance of manufacturing in the Philippines. He's also co-authored the manufacturing policy brief of the Joint Foreign Chambers. So to speak to us today about delivering solutions to advance a circular economy, let us welcome Bobby Batumbakan. Magandang hapon, Bobby. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Allow me to share my screen. Okay, thank you. Sui, maraming salamat and thank you to Bill and the team for inviting me in the City Labs. It's my first time to participate dito and I'm really excited and I'm honored that we have a great panel today. No? So I would like to share our thoughts and ideas on the circular economy. Let me do a quick introduction to Dow. Our company was established in 1897 in Michigan, USA, and it's now the world's leading material science company with a purpose to use our expertise in collaboration with our partners to help deliver a sustainable future. Dow, we have over 106 manufacturing locations in 31 countries. countries, including the Philippines. Dito sa Pilipinas, we have been manufacturing in the Philippines since 1963, bago pa po ako pinanganak. Sustainability has been the cornerstone. Sustainability has been the cornerstone of Dow's business since our founding and underpins each and every decision we make. Every 10 years, we have a sustainability goal since 2005, then 2015, and 2025. For the 2025 goal, I would like to share with you 3 of our global targets. Number 1, on carbon reduction. By 2030, we target to reduce our carbon emission by 5 million metric tons versus 2020 baseline. That is a 15% reduction. And like many countries and many companies, we also target carbon neutrality by 2050. On eliminating plastic waste, we target 2 ways: stopping the waste and then closing the loop. So stopping the waste, by 2030, we target to enable 1 million metric tons of plastic to be collected, reused, and recycled, either directly by us or with partnerships. In the tinatawag namin closing the loop, by 2035, 100% of all our products sold into packaging will be recycled and reused, reusable or recycled. Those are very, very big numbers, no? And they are very ambitious. And it can only be possible by gaining the support of our customers, our suppliers, the consumers, government, and society in general. So with that, allow me to share with you some of the examples that we have to enable the circular economy. Now, before I proceed, I just wanted to point out na there are many solutions and many new promising solutions that are still being developed. But I think what's important dito sa ating forum today is that we have to understand what are the solutions that are relevant and feasible for the Philippines. No? And we don't claim to be experts. No, we'd like to share what we know, but I think it's very important to hear from you and tell us from your point of view, is this what would work for us? Or is there something that you think should be done better? No? So una-una, let me start with what we call Dow's formulated post-consumer resin, o yung tinatawag na PCR. No? PCR means post-consumer resin, meaning these are resins that are made from plastic that came from the market. Nagamit na. These are waste plastic. Kasi meron namang isa, I hope you don't mind my switching sa Tagalog tsaka sa English. There's another one called PIR, which is post-industrial resin. PIR are from the factories itself. PCR are the ones directly from the consumer, from the trash cans or from the markets, no? So PCR is very important because that's where a lot of our waste comes from, which we see in our environment. And they can be used to make new products, including packaging and including durable plastic goods. No? So you can see the chain in your slide from waste feedstock. You can make resins again, and you can make film, and then goes to the products, whether it's packaging or durable products. But to make that happen, you have to put together the different parts of the value chain. No? And that's why our material science expertise is only one part of a long chain. No? Pero what is the benefit of this? Here's a direct benefit. Do you realize that if we use PCR or post-consumer resin, which obviously we're able to reduce pollution, pero you're able to reduce carbon emission by 17%. Take for example, if you use 40% PCR, this could be 17% carbon reduction. It can also mean 30% energy savings. No, instead of producing new plastic, you recycle by using less energy. Obviously, you keep it away from landfill, ocean, and environment. For the brand owners and business owners, it enables them to to sustain their reputation, brand perception. You like their products better because they take care of the environment. And at the end of the day, you have you have plastic products that are fully recyclable at the end of the life. No, no. Now, meron na bang gumagawa dito? Yes, meron nang nagpi-PCR. But it's important to ensure that PCR are contamination free, traceable, and safe, which our colleague from the ADB just emphasized. It's not as simple as collecting waste, recycling it, and using it. We have to be selective in using PCR to ensure health and safety of both the producer and the end user. No? Let me go to another example. This is what we call monomaterial packaging. Diba, one of the big challenges in the Philippines, no, and certainly not a unique challenge, but it really comes out in societies ng Philippines and Indonesia, which is what we call has a sachet economy, no. Sachets has been here for about 2 decades na siguro, maybe a little more, no? And it certainly helped a lot of societies, especially those that are emerging economies, no? Where cost is very important to have access to essential goods. But at the same time, sachet has created a lot of problems because sachet are made of multi-layer materials. Multi-layer and multiple materials. Meron plastic, meron foil, meron iba paper. So when you put it together, it becomes very difficult to recycle unless you separate it, and it's very difficult to separate it. So the objective on this one is to have monomaterial packaging, to shift from multiple layer, multiple product, multiple material to having one kind of material so that it can be recycled. Remember, plastics like polyethylene, polypropylene, these are very durable materials that can be used many times. So kung ang packaging natin is made of 100% of it, and if it will work as good as the sachets or the pouches, then all of these things can be recycled. Okay? Now, where was I? Okay, it's even possible to replace foil and PET and aluminum and still come up with similar or the same properties. Pero is it challenging? Yes. Can it be used in all products? Probably not, no? Pero if we can convert a majority of the most commonly used products, then I think we will be in better shape. Okay. So ito also needs a collaboration from resin maker, packaging maker, and then the brand owners, no? And of course the waste management and the consumers. Let me share with you the next few slides are actual projects that we've done in the Philippines. The first is what we call plastic road. Some call it plastic asphalt road. Some call it plastic waste road. In 2019, we worked with San Miguel Corporation to pave the first plastic road in the Philippines. That's the one in the picture. This is in 13 Martires sa facility ng San Miguel. No? So this project is actually leveraged from other countries. The first one who did a lot of plastic road was in India. And then Dow worked with partners in India, in Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. And by 2019, we worked with San Miguel to do the first plastic road. No, so by the way, plastic or polymers have been used in asphalt roads. Usually, this is used for making high performance roads and airport runways. Those that require very high performance. No. The innovation is to use waste plastic, no? So, but it will take time. A lot of more development work is ongoing, including studying the long-term impact studies in many countries. It also requires research and development with road builders and government agencies, particularly on the standards. When this is commercialized, this could use a significant amount of plastic waste and doesn't require special equipment. It can be implemented in regions where asphalt is blended and made into the roads. So, so let me share a couple of more projects. This one is upcycled chairs or upcycled school chairs. We're not the only one who supported this project. You have other multinational brands that have worked with Sentinel, the maker of the plastic, to make plastic chairs or upcycled chairs. But the innovation from Dow is that we work with Sentinel on the formulation and certain materials to double the recycling rate. Dati, ang recycling rate is about 20% sachets. We working together, we were able to increase the recycle rate to about 40%. So, ano pong ibig sabihin yan? One chair actually contains 1,600 pieces of waste sachets. No? So, so far we've delivered 300 chairs to 6 different schools. We hope, of course, wala tayong face-to-face ngayon, no? But these schools are equipped with barriers between the chairs, and we do hope that in the upcoming face-to-face trial ng chairs, we hope that they will be very helpful. Okay, next example. Sustainable rubberized floor surface systems. Okay. This is a project that we leverage from Singapore. A couple of years ago, they started this, and what the idea is that we would like to collect old unusable rubber shoes and slippers. Alam naman natin that slipper is probably, you know, maraming ilog natin and maraming dagat natin puno ng tsinelas, no? Na nahahanap natin sa shore. Iba ang quality ng slippers, iba ang quality ng rubber shoes, pero gusto namin pag-aralan how do we use these materials and process them to make rubber flooring. No? This is an example of the rubber flooring in Singapore. Our project here in Manila, we will be converting 30,000 pairs of rubber shoes and slippers and use the flooring for a new sustainable pedestrian footbridge in Manila, in the city of Manila. No? So not only will this be able to reduce pollution from footwear and slippers, the footbridge will be able to reduce carbon emission because it will enable people to cross the river of Pasig instead of taking motorized vehicle across to the other streets and bridges. So, okay. Next one is, I hope I'm not running out of time yet. Next one is the okay, sorry. Okay, plastic education. Even if we have a lot of innovations, even if we have a lot of investments in recycling, we need to educate themselves to make this effective, and we have to start with the youth. No, so we have also supported, with the help of PBS, we have supported PBSP and an organization called System, which is an expert in educating STEM, through STEM, to come up with an online digital module for plastic sustainability education. It is science-based, and the objective is to train our the youth to understand the issues of plastic sustainability, understand how to mitigate it, and how to be part of the solutions. What I like about this is that this will be developed in the Philippines because we know that there are a lot of solutions globally, but we need to understand the solutions that are right for us. And after we develop this, we Dow would like to leverage it to similar countries like similar countries in the region, like Vietnam, Indonesia, India. lastly, bonus slide. I hope you can. We're also involved in finding solutions for other products other than plastic, in particular single-use paper cups and containers. You probably know that a lot of the paper cups and containers that have barrier resistance to water are very difficult to recycle, no? Because of plastic coating or other water resistance coating. So we have a new innovation that was recently invented a couple of years ago and been recognized with R&D awards and Edison Award, because this is the first polyolefin dispersion that makes paper cups repulpable and recyclable. No? It's very new. We would like to introduce this to the Philippines. We'd like to work with cup and container makers, brand owners, and of course the waste management industry and the consumers. So at that, thank you very much for listening to us. I'd like to end by saying that while we have the technology to advance the circular economy, we are just one part of that circular economy. We need your leadership in the LGU to enable citizens, to help them not to litter, to properly handle waste plastics, properly segregate and send them to the proper facilities in the community. We also need your help to provide a demand for green infrastructure, katulad na nabanggit namin, like plastic roads, recycled construction materials, eco bricks, the green ants, recycled school and office furniture, recycled container, trash bins, and many circular products essential to our communities. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Bobby. I like the examples that you put forth, no? Especially yung, again, I go back to what Marian said, no? Eliminate, innovate, circulate. Really some good examples there on innovative ways to work with post-consumer plastics. So thank you for those good examples.
Salamat.
Yeah, and Bobby, there are some questions in the Q&A chat box. You might want to have a look, no? And then
Okay.
for the folks on, thank you, Bobby. And for the folks online, if you want to vote some of those questions up, you just click on the thumbs up button dun sa kanto nung questions, and you'll vote those questions up the list. Okay, so good stuff. Let me let's see. Let's go on to our before we go on to our next speaker, meron lang tayo. We'll have a little bit of a poll question here, no? So, Direk, if you can put our poll question up, no? The question is, does your community, which is your barangay, your city or municipality, have a recycling system? So let's see, no? What do you see? Are you aware of this? No? Meron ba tayong recycling system sa ating barangay, city or municipality? Okay. Let's wait for a few more seconds and say, oh, good. Oh, look at that. More than half says meron, no? 55%. Not aware, about 28%. Hopefully there is, no? Maybe just need to find out kung nasaan yung mga yan. No? And none is about 18%. So thank you for that answer. It gives a lot of additional insights to our audience and also to our speakers in our webinar. Let me just let's go on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Ms. Ana Margarita Dingay Ontiveros. Dingay is a Vice President for Reputation Management of the Aboitiz Group, where she oversees the group's brands, creatives, corporate and digital communications, and sustainability programs. She has over 30 years experience in senior management of various corporations, such as the Benguet Corporation, the Meralco Group, the Panday Group, as well as extensive project management and stakeholder engagement expertise in the development sector through the Philippine Center Entrepreneurship Foundation. So to talk about the One Aboitiz sustainability, let us welcome my colleague, si Dingay Ontiveros. Hi, Dingay. Good to see you again.
Hi, Sui.
Hi.
Parang hindi tayo nagkita buong
Parang
araw today.
hindi. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you and thank you for hosting and moderating today. And of course, good afternoon, everyone. Magandang hapon, maupay na hapon. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for the opportunity for us to share our One Aboitiz sustainability practices. Of course, I'd like to greet and say hello to our good friend Bill Luz, the chairman of Livable Cities Philippines. So thank you very much, Bill, for this opportunity. So I'll begin with our story about how the Aboitiz Group came to be. You know, we really began in the late 19th century, so over 100 years ago, matagal-tagal na, as a hemp and abaca trading business in Ormoc, Leyte. And I do know that we have stakeholders from Leyte attending today. So shout out to my good friend Raul Reyes. I know you're in the room. So Aboitiz and Company, we were formally established in the 1920s. But really the earliest beginnings of our legacy was traced back to 1870 when a mariner from the Basque of Spain named Paulino Martin de Aboitiz sailed through the Suez Canal and landed in Ormoc, which is in the southern province of Leyte. So there he established the abaca trade, and it really allowed Paulino to set up a legacy for this country, considering that he was miles away from his homeland, and he really took to heart yung trade ng father-in-law niya, which was really to become a well-established merchant in his own right, transporting and distributing abaca and other commodities to Cebu. And Paulino was always mindful about how to adapt and transform the business to meet the growing demands and needs of customers, and then also how to expand for better products and services in other parts of the country, as the nation was well in the throes of development at the time. So this way of thinking into the future has really been carried on through the many generations of the Aboitiz Group to what we are today as an organization, steeped in a rich history and tradition of sustainability. So in over 100 years, we've grown by leaps and bounds. So we are now in the industries of power, banking and financial services, food, land, infrastructure, data science and artificial intelligence, as well as construction. We're quite a large organization, about 30,000, moving toward a shared vision of creating value for all our stakeholders. And we've actually grown, from having just a local presence to crossing borders. So we are widening our regional footprint in Asia Pacific through substantial investments, specifically in the food sector. And through the years, the group has consistently been cited as one of the best managed companies in the Philippines. We try to be consistent in terms of our very strong commitments to good corporate governance and also corporate citizenship through many of our legacy CSR programs and innovations for social development. And in the recent years, our focus has really shifted to further developing a more credible, transparent, and strong performance in terms of sustainability management. And we continue to work really hard, so many teams across the Aboitiz organization, on delivering our commitments to the UN SDGs, as well as aligning to the 10 principles of the UN as a member of the UNGC. And we are also on the board of trustees of the GCNP. And moreover, our group CEO, Sabina Aboitiz, is also a member of the APEC Business Advisory Council, so the ABAC, representing the Philippines, along with Bill Luz and two other members. So we are also able to participate quite actively in regional discussions to weigh in on policy recommendations on things like climate leadership, food security, and digital transformation, which are all critical topics for our country and for this region. And in Aboitiz, one of the things I think that really, fuels our passion is that, our belief that we can do well by doing good. And we have translated sustainability as our brand promise, of advancing business and communities. And what we really aspire for is that as our business grows, so do our stakeholders to grow with us. And we define sustainable development as inclusive growth that carefully looks into the dimensions of ESG. So we're very much committed to this mindset that views sustainability not so much as a cost of doing business, but as a way of doing good business. It's very much integral to our business strategy and our culture, as you're finding out, Sui. And it's also very much a part of who we are, I believe, as individuals, and who we are and what we aspire to achieve together as an organization, in partnership with many stakeholders, with government, and of course, with communities. And for over a century, we've really tried to tie this mindset to our group's legacy of core values, no, our behavior, our beliefs that really shape the Aboitiz way. This is our unique culture that's nurtured and strengthened over many, many generations. So we look at, every action and decision that we make, we try as much as possible to anchor it on these time-honored values of integrity, of teamwork, of innovation, which is very much a part of really developing, new ways for the circular economy, as well as responsibility. So making sure that we're really taking care of the world today for future generations to come. And these values, which live through the distinct behavior and traditions across the group, really form what we call the Aboitiz culture. So we have what we call our One Aboitiz Sustainability Framework. So it's our foundation, so to speak. It allows us to draw a sharp focus on 3 key areas where ESG dimensions are present. So this is our triple bottom line approach of people, planet, and profit. And we use our framework to be able to be more clear about the targets that we're setting, to improve performance. We'd like to extend the scope of the value that we're creating. And then just as importantly, is to communicate to stakeholders what we have done. And then very important, of course, is yung forward-looking natin, yung ating future, no, yung kinabukasan. Ano ba yung mga plano ng grupo para sa kinabukasan? And as part of our One Sustainability program, the group champions several efforts to address environmental challenges. We are aware, we know that there's a looming natural resource crisis, and it's further exacerbated by many of the impacts of the pandemic throughout the supply chains. And we recognize, we feel very much responsible that perhaps one of the most important decisions that our business can make today is really how are we going to contribute to building a circular economy and making the most efficient use of existing materials for as long as possible. No? So ano ba yung role namin in working towards a sustainable future? How are we going to ensure that what we consume is cleaner, it's replaceable, and that less waste is produced? So we have a WOW program in the Aboitiz group. So it's called Wealth Out of Waste Framework. It encourages a more circular flow of materials within the group. So really rethinking before we actually use. And we've begun to look at waste this way, that perhaps 99% of waste from our company operations may be either totally recyclable or reusable, meaning that the material may possibly have a solution or a partner who may make something with that material. No? So let me give you some examples. So in our affiliate, RCBM, through their program of EcoLoop and many other programs actually that RCBM is doing, they are partnering with LGUs and other companies in co-processing plastic waste as alternative fuel in cement production. So this addresses the plastic pollution crisis and significantly reduces the amount of plastic that actually ends up in our landfills and waterways. And then to further up the ante, recently RCBM has also begun to use data science and artificial intelligence to further improve product quality, specifically cement strength, and at the same time to curb or reduce emissions. So really all about solving customer-centric problems, or issues while contributing to helping green up our world. In our food group, we've also tried to translate this wealth out of waste framework with Pilmico in its use of a biomass boiler for its feeds. No, this is part of the production process, and we've been doing this since 2018. So the byproducts of rice husks are used as alternative to bunker fuel in its feed manufacturing plant. So ginagamit ng boiler yung rice husks, and at the same time, it also generates steam para maluto and to cook and sanitize the feeds. And then with the use of the rice husks, Pilmico has also been able to cut more than 60% of our use in bunker fuel use. So it's quite a significant number for our operations. Tapos yung waste ash that we produce in the process, again, we recycle this, we reuse it. It's incorporated into cement aggregates that we use for improvements in the different Pilmico facilities. So yung concrete mix from waste ash reduces actual cement usage by about 20%. Pilmico's use of alternative biomass fuel in its operations has reduced overall production cost and carbon emissions. And so it's really helped boost productivity and profitability, energy efficiency, as well as environmental sustainability in the communities where the group operates. So we have a short video, Suvi, gusto sana namin ipakita, no, to show lang how Pilmico practices sustainable solutions in their operation.
Yes, let's go.
So, said, could we play that video?
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
So,
you, Gang.
yeah, so yan, Suwi, no, examples ng mga ibang ginagawa natin in the Aboitiz group, right? And innovation really plays a large part in this because we really want to keep pushing ourselves to create solutions rather than to stagnate. We want to push, our ideas further and forward to be able to help encourage a more circular economy because we also know that we're really able to change lives for the better. We don't ever underestimate the power that social impact that one can create by achieving certain milestones within the circular loop, and it's really our choice to be within that circle or without it. And more we find that as humans we really choose to be in it and really do something about it. So we have really so many stories to share with you, and to do that yesterday I wanted to share with everyone, Suwi, that we launched our One Aboitiz sustainability microsite on sustainability.aboitiz.com. We hope all of you will have the chance to visit our site and get to learn about us more, and then reach out if you want to collaborate or engage with any of our business units. So this is really our way of telling our Aboitiz sustainability story or journey. It's definitely far from perfect, but it progresses through time, and we really want to contribute more in terms of sustainable solutions to our society's biggest problems, so poverty, hunger, waste, energy security, social inequality, having better education, all these issues that really resonate with everyone, with all of us. So today, as we do every day, we recommit to that journey. We continue to build resilience and sustainability for the future. So before I close my presentation, just let me leave you with a short message from our group CEO and president, Sabina Aboitiz. He says, while we in the Aboitiz group are certainly no strangers to the ups and downs in the global economy or to the ever-present disruptions that the COVID pandemic has caused, we remain confident that our foundations, our businesses and people will continue to sustain our future path. Our core values of integrity, teamwork, innovation, and responsibility are firmly embedded in the Aboitiz way, enabling all of us to thrive despite all the headwinds of change that are coming. So we're actively involved in industries that provide essential needs of consumers, contribute to the foundations for sustainable nation building, and together, hopefully, we can all recover and grow alongside the Philippine economy. We truly believe that it is through our businesses where we can actually create the greatest impact on improving the quality of life of our fellow men. And together with all of you, we are building a great future that will transcend for generations to come. So thank you very much, Suvi, for the time, and mabuhay
Thank you.
tayong lahat. Stay safe.
Thank you, Ingay. Galing. Well said. And thank you for also starting off how sustainability is really anchored to the history, the legacy, the values, and the purpose of the Aboitiz Group. You might want to mention what is RCBM para maintindihan nila.
Sorry, yes, that's
Oo.
Republic Cement.
Okay,
Republic
good.
Cement. Oh, salamat. Thank you, Sue.
Okay, good. So there's lots of things happening in the Republic Cement and building materials. Alam mo, I also link back to what you mentioned about rethink, reduce, recover, reuse, or repurpose. No? That really links back to much of what Marian has said and Bobby has said, no? About eliminate, innovate, circulate, no? Or to design out the waste, no? in the process. So thank you for that. More information in the sustainability.aboitis.com that Kingay mentioned. Also, and then there's lots of questions that are coming in. And I see that you have some fans already, Kingay, in the chat box. You might want to answer that while we're going through the other presenters in our webinar. So let's move on to our next presenter. And alam mo, naalala ko tuloy yung sinabi ni Kingay. No? Sabi niya, wealth out of waste. No? So wow, wealth out of waste. And then earlier, when we started our webinar, this gentleman mentioned, no, ito yung quote ko sa kanya, waste is only waste when we waste it. So our next speaker is Engineer Rommel Benig. Rommel is the founder and CEO of Green Ants Incorporated, or Green Ants, an innovative company that manufactures green construction materials. Green Ants partners with companies and organizations, I believe also with Aboitiz, to establish community-based enterprises that provide livelihood and build dignified houses and school buildings for marginalized areas while cleaning the environment. The manufacturing facility called Eco Hubs produce green construction materials such as eco bricks, eco pavers, eco casts, and eco boards, where various waste such as post-consumer laminates, tulad ng binanggit ni Bobby kanina, and plastic sachets are being used as raw materials, thus diverting them away from oceans and landfills, promoting the circular economy in the Philippines. Green Ants intends to establish over 40 eco hubs by 2022, aligned with its vision of having eco hubs in key cities and municipalities in the Philippines. So let us welcome to the Livable Cities Lab Engineer Rommel, to discuss the circular economy in action through sustainable construction. Rommel, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Sui, for the warm introduction.
Okay,
good
on to
afternoon,
you,
everyone.
Rommel.
Okay, so let me share my slides. Okay, can you see screen now?
Yes, we see
Yeah.
your deck. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so again, good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. Would like to share with you what we do in Green Ants, how do we put into action the circular economy model through sustainable construction. Just a little trivia. What you see here, this little creature here, is actually called a green ant. So locally, we call green ants hantik. And we are inspired by this little creature because what we in Green Ants are doing is basically very similar to what these green ants are doing. We are also using green building materials to build houses and structures, while this little creature here, they are building their own homes using green leaves. So let me share with you a brief backgrounder about the plastic pollution. And we believe that, yeah, we know very well that this is the sad state of the country, the sad state of the world. So in 2015, there was this study showing that around 8 million metric tons of plastic wastes goes into the ocean. And around 49% of that is single-use plastics. And also part of the study has identified the Philippines as the third worst plastic polluter next to China and Indonesia. So this is really alarming. And we really have to do something. The reason why I'm speaking in front of you now, this is not just to present our products, what we do in Green Ants, but also this is a call to action that we need to collaborate so that we remove the name of the Philippines in this list. And a more recent study just this year has also identified 7 out of the top 10 most polluting rivers are in the Philippines. So again, this is a sad reality. So this is a bothering reality. We need to do something. So here's a closer look at plastics. So the life cycle of plastics ranges from around 20 years to 500 years. So it's really an amazing product, but it's a big problem if you don't manage plastics properly. And according to the World Economic Forum and the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, that if you don't do anything, by year 2050, there will be more plastics in the ocean than fish. So my friends, ladies and gentlemen, we really have to do something. We cannot afford to wait for so many years. The perfect timing really is to act now. So if we see that plastics are causing a lot of problems, but the thing is, the trouble is, it is so useful. So plastic is being used in various packaging, building and construction, textiles like polyester, and consumer and institutional products. So plastic is really very helpful and useful. We just have to manage plastic waste properly. So what can we do now? First, we need to embrace a different mindset. And this is perfectly captured by this famous quotation, one of my favorites, from Albert Einstein, that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So we need to continuously challenge the status quo. We need to believe that there's always a better way of doing things. And part of that is to challenge our current model, the linear economy model. So the linear economy model is what we are currently doing now. We take resources from the environment, we make products, we use and consume these products and then dispose of the wastes. So we make, we use, we consume and dispose. Consume, dispose, then wastes accumulate in the environment. That model is not sustainable. So we need a different kind of model. And here we are proposing to embrace the circular economy model, where we give waste like plastics a second life. So yes, we make products out of the plastics, we consume, and then we return the plastics back to the value chain. So this is the circular economy model. And we have embraced this in Green Ants since 2013. So here's a closer look about this new model. So where we create a closed loop cycle. We invest in infrastructures, and later on we'll be sharing with you how we do it. We design for recyclability and reusability. So we are promoting reuse. And by embracing the circular economy model, we are in fact diverting wastes away from the landfills and dump sites, because we know very well that dump sites are not sustainable. In fact, dump sites are closing. So we'd like to share with you what we do in Green Ants. So we started as a brick making company, but through the years, we evolved into becoming a product, technology, and solutions development company where we use waste as a resource. We partner with corporations and local government units and identify those wastes that are difficult to recycle. And then we sit down and try to develop new products, new building materials out of this difficult to recycle plastic waste. So Green Ants is also a waste solutions company that helps other companies divert their wastes away from the landfills. So since 2013, we have created the whole ecosystem, pioneering and institutionalizing the circular economy model in the country. So the mission of Green Ants is very simple. We want to create sustainable, environmentally responsible, and just recently we have added the third one, climate resilient communities, because we know very well that Philippines is one of the most vulnerable countries when it comes to climate change. The vision of Green Ants is we want to be recognized as an innovative provider of green building materials and solutions for the construction industry. So we started with the construction industry, and now we are expanding to other areas like fuel, energy, and information technology. We want to be the leader in institutionalizing the circular economy model in the country. And while we are addressing the environmental impact associated with waste, like plastic waste, we want our products to address other societal problems, like we want to improve the access to shelter and classrooms using our eco products. In the single slide here, if you will just follow the green arrows, you can see the circularity in what we do as a company from the different sources of wastes, be it institutional, commercial, industrial, or residential. We collect the wastes and bring them to a Green Ants facility, which we call an eco hub. In this eco hub, we produce this green building materials that we supply to the requirements of the construction industry. And at the end of life, when these buildings are demolished, we collect the debris and then the cycle continues. So this is the circular economy model that we have embraced and adopted in Green Ants. And we are doing this in partnership with our corporate partners, and including local government units and communities. So I just want to share with you this circular model that we have developed together with Ayala Land. So we are collecting plastic wastes from different Ayala Land properties and malls, and then bring them to the Green Ants facility called the Eco Hub in Taguig, Arca South. And then we supply the eco products, the eco bricks, the eco casts, the eco pavers to the projects and the construction requirement of Ayala Land. So we were able to close the loop, and just recently Ayala Land was recognized in the 2021 Stevie Awards. They won the gold award for this. So in 2020, with Ayala Land, we're able to collect around 40,000 kilos of plastics. So here's a closer look at the Green Ants Eco Hub. It's basically a 3-in-1 facility. It is a plastic waste collection point, a recycling facility, and a manufacturing plant for green building materials. So in effect, it is a modern MRF. This is part of the vision of Green Ants. We want to really build the network of modern MRF across the country. And we want to do this by collaborating with corporations and companies, because we recognize that this is one gap. This is really one of the root causes why we have an inefficient and ineffective waste management system in the country. So here's another look at the Eco Hub. We have created a model that's really socially inclusive and can be easily integrated into a company's CSR and sustainability programs. So we have created the social franchising model where companies actually sponsor the setting up of a Green Ants Eco Hub. So since 2015, we are continuously building this modern MRF or Eco Hubs across the country. And by year end, we're looking at completing our 40th Eco Hub. We have also pioneered the setting up of plastic drop-off points. So here are the plastic drop-off points that we have set up in Ayala malls more than 2 years ago. And now we are scaling this up to all Ayala malls across the country so that this will become more accessible to the consumers. We have also introduced the concept of a modern plastic junk shop, which we call the Green Ants Plastic Station, which is really a socially inclusive model. So we are providing livelihood for women in the communities. And also during the pandemic, we collaborated with jeepney drivers and tricycle drivers who were displaced by the pandemic so that we minimize the financial impact of the pandemic. So the Greenhouse Plastic Station is a collection point for plastics. It is a sorting area and a shredding facility. So we pre-process the plastics before supplying them to the requirements of the Green Ants Eco Hub and for our recycling partners. So what do we do with the plastics? So we started with the Green Ants Eco Brick in 2015. And then we launched the EcoCast and the EcoPaver. So these are some of the eco products, green building materials that we have developed. And all of these products are recyclable by Green Ants. So we have designed for circularity. These are some of the sample projects and applications that we have completed. So Shell, Filipina Shell is also one of our partners. They have embraced the eco product, and they're now using our products in their construction and renovation works. So what you can see here is the first Shell commercial building, mobility station in Plaridel, Bulacan, using 100% eco bricks. So the first two Green McDonald's store also use our products, and our partner Mondinisen use our products in their new plant in Albiara, Pampanga. So some projects that we have done here, would like to highlight this. Now this one in the middle is the new Max Commissary building using our EcoCast. So really the products are aesthetically superior, at least 5 times stronger than conventional CHB, and more cost effective by 10 to 15%. Because we have completely eliminated the plastering works. So of course, Ayala Land is also using our product. So this is the walkway, the sidewalk project in Makati Business District. We are also working with local government units. So this one is an example of a daycare center that use our product. So this particular daycare center used around 3,000 pieces of eco bricks, or roughly 9,000 pieces of plastic bottles. We are also building affordable and dignified houses. So here you can see some of the model houses that we have done. We are now preparing to set up and collaborate with some organizations to set up the one eco community in Batangas. So which will integrate all the eco products and other sustainability practices. Okay, so we have also developed this alternative to synthetic granite, which we call Greenite. So this contains around 30% recycled plastics. So we can use this for tabletops, countertops, and even furnitures. Okay, so we are also going to into modular housing. So we have a brand, the Ant House, which is a sustainable modular housing solution using eco products containing waste, plastic waste. So we'd like to share with you this good news. More than 2 years ago, when we launched the plastic drop-off points, it was unimaginable for people to bring their plastics to us. But now we are really glad to share that through the years, people have developed a new habit people are now sending their plastics to our eco hubs, to our plastic drop-off points. And that's why we are scaling up the model so that our infrastructure will become more accessible to people. So with the circular economy model, the basic paradigm shift really is to treat waste as a resource. And we can do this by starting in our homes. We do segregation at the source so that we can keep plastics away from the landfills and dump sites. So these are some of our partner corporations, local government units, communities, and organizations. So from FMCGs, fast-moving consumer goods companies, construction company developers, NGOs, foundations, and local government units, we are ready to collaborate because we believe that we cannot do it alone, neither the government nor the private sector. But if we combine forces, if we collaborate, we can definitely address this big waste problem. Just want to share with you this. In September 2019, we represented the Philippines in the 2019 Asia Pacific Housing Forum, and we won first place in the construction innovation category. Not just because of the products that we have developed, but also of the scalable model that we have created. And just recently, last October 12, Green Ants was recognized as one of the most innovative company of the year by the 12th Asia CEO Awards. And this validates our passion for innovation. We will be continuously innovating new products using waste as a resource. So this is my last slide, and would like to end my presentation with this quotation from Will I Am. Waste is only waste if we waste it. So thank you very much. Maraming salamat po. Really looking forward to collaborating with you all. Let us clean up the world. Let us clean up the Philippines. And as we always say it in Green Ants, let's do it one community at a time, one brick at a time. Maraming salamat po.
Galing. Well done, Rommel. Alam mo, nilalanggam na yung ating Q&A box ng mga tanong sa mga gusto mag-collaborate with you. So well done. I think that's really an important message. No? We all need to work together on this. I like that we mentioned also that there's a lot of innovation, innovate and circulate. No? Dati kasi, as you said, no, you started off as a brick-making company, but now it's about a circular economy solutions company. And that really creates a lot of positive impact, especially yung social enterprise component, di ba? Ng mga taong nangailangan, it creates jobs, it reduces waste, such a lot of great benefits, no? And I thought the waste is only waste when you waste it was attributed to you, si Will I Am pala yun. So thank you for clarifying that, no? And again, the audience, please, keep on putting out your questions in the Q&A box. And I invite, of course, our panelists are very active in answering the questions there. And we'll reserve some, of course, or we might take some back into the Q&A para marinig ng audience natin the other questions and answers that we have there. So let's go on to our final speaker. We are honored to have Mr. Miguel Bermudo to be our final speaker this afternoon. Miguel has been with Globe for just under a decade, spearheading various initiatives on sustainability and corporate social responsibility. He currently leads sustainability adoption efforts across the company. Miguel has been an advocate of sustainability since 2008 when he set up his own NGO, Dream Big Pilipinas, which provides educational opportunities for disadvantaged youth to this day. His work brought him into the World Economic Forum and membership into the Global Shapers community. He was also recently included in the Generation T list, Asia Tattlers platform for leaders of tomorrow, which recognizes young leaders shaping Asia's future. To share with us Globe's circular economy story, let us welcome Miguel. Hello, Miguel.
Hello, Shui. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Good. Okay, you're coming in nice and clear, so I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, thank you. For today, we just wanted to spend a bit of time to talk about our journey in sustainability. So I'll get right to it. Next slide, please. So in August this year, the IPCC, or the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, released their sixth assessment report. For everyone's knowledge, the IPCC is the international body responsible for assessing the science behind climate change. So they were established in 1988 and have been releasing assessment reports every 5 to 6 years since. So let me share with you takeaways from that latest report. And many of this we know, but this reinforces it further. One, changes in climate are happening at a large scale and have been intensifying. Two, there is undeniable evidence that humans caused rapid climate change. Three, some changes cannot be reversed, but there are some that can still be managed. Four, climate change is affecting every region and we should expect more extreme weather events. Five, if we do not make strong carbon reduction efforts as a country, the global target of limiting global warming to just 1.5 degrees will be truly out of reach. So in summary, the report confirms what we already know, what the world already knows, which is climate change is here and we need to do something about it. The UN Secretary General summed it up. This is code red for humanity. There is still time to act, but we have to act fast. And this will actually be the main topic of focus on COP26 happening this November. COP, or the Conference of Parties, is a summit of leaders worldwide looking to address climate change at the global level. So with that, there is a need for us, individuals, governments, corporations, to make our contributions to environmental sustainability yesterday. So next slide, please. Just to share a bit about the work that we do. Sustainability in Globe is anchored on our purpose, which is in everything we do. Business and beyond business, we treat people right to create a globe of good. With this, Globe is committed to, among the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, we are committed to 10. And we are also guided by 10 UN Global Compact principles in terms of how we can operate responsibly. And we align with the UN SDGs on how we can create more opportunities for sustainable development. As a company, we are also a signatory of the UN Global Compact. We are a supporter of the what is called the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure, or TCFD for short, and we recently committed to the Science-Based Target Initiative, or SBTI for short, and became a participant to what is called Race to Zero. We are focused on 4 key areas as Globe in sustainability. One is building a digital nation. 2, creating positive societal impact. 3, care for people. And 4, which we're going to spend a bulk of the time today, care for environment. Next slide, please. Care for environment is Globe's environmental commitment anchored on the TCFD and SBTI. TCFD is a climate risk management framework consisting of governance, strategy, risk management, and science-based targets. We have committed to the TCFD earlier this year together with the Ayala Group. So you know this is something really serious to the company and Ayala as a whole. Just this year, we also committed to the SBTI and participated in the Race to Zero, both of which are aligned with the Paris Agreement to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Globe's initial target is to reduce our emissions by 50% by 2030. And this is directly aligned with the 1.5 degree scenario. And eventually, as a unit, as a company, to be carbon neutral by 2050. So this is also something that the company has committed to a great extent. Critical to the attainment of these targets are industry collaborations and supply chain engagements through 3 things. One is, firstly, it's operational energy efficiency. The second is shift to renewable energy, very important. And 3 is circularity in the supply chain. Now, to deep dive, next slide, please. To deep dive into it, let's first define circularity in terms of sustainability so that we're all on the same page. So this is rather a simple principle when you look at it on paper, but certainly quite a complex principle, wherein nothing is wasted since everything goes back to the system. So through this process, the value of the product is therefore maximized. We make the most of the materials we have available to us, and we find a way to keep using it and find returning value. The figure on the left, if you see, simplifies the process of circularity. It starts with the design of a product, how it goes into production and distribution until it reaches the user. And it also includes how the product is collected for recycling after use. And finally, how it's reinserted into the system as raw material. Circularity in this case is at the heart of UN SDG number 12, which is responsible consumption and production. If we deep dive into what that exactly means, what does SDG 12 mean? We can see in the indicators. So going deeper, SDG 12.4. So just a little bit technical, but please bear with us. 12.4 talks about reducing waste through reduction, recycling, and reuse, while indicator 12.5 talks about sound management of waste through the life cycle. So why are we bringing this up and why are we going into detail? We want to let the public know that it's more than just communicating the SDGs. We really take a look at the targets and jointly with the UN find ways to achieve these targets as a whole. So in the Philippines, there are two regulations that relate to proper waste management. And I'll just breeze through these quickly. RA 9003, or what is called the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, which promotes resource conservation and recovery, and RA 6969, or what is called the Toxic Substance and Hazardous Nuclear Waste Control Act, which in short promotes proper hazardous waste management. So speaking of waste management, and this is what we proudly want to share with everybody. Let's talk about one of the fastest growing waste streams in the Philippines. Is it plastic? So next slide, please. So it's electronic waste or e-waste, according to the DNR, today is one of the fastest growing waste streams in the Philippines, therefore a growing concern of the country. So what are e-waste? These are devices with electronic components that are either old, broken, or have reached the end of their useful life, and it is important to properly dispose of these for recycling. Why? First, it conserves natural resources through the recovery of the valuable materials such as glass, gold, copper, which can be used to make new products. Second, it protects people and the environment. E-waste contains materials that are hazardous to human health and the environment, such as mercury and lead. All these are found in electronic devices. Third, it saves sanitary landfills, definitely by diverting waste from those facilities. And lastly, it creates humane and green jobs, certainly for the Philippines, for both the formal and informal sector, which in this time, unemployment is on the rise. With these benefits, Globe has been advocating responsible e-waste management since 2014. You might have heard of what it was previously called, which is Project One Phone, established more in 2014, and it's now called E-Waste Zero. Next slide, please. E-Waste Zero is Globe's e-waste recovery and recycling program and has been able to responsibly recycle 1.4 million kilograms of e-waste to date. We have partnered with over 80 corporations, organizations, LGUs, and schools to make this whole possible. To date, there are over 120 e-waste drop-off points nationwide to allow the public to join in the fight and in the collection process. We offer free door-to-door hauling of bulky or multiple e-waste. This is for companies, LGUs. This is for households even with multiple e-waste, bulky e-waste that need to be disposed of responsibly. Just this year, we have partnered with UNIDO and the Barangay Dampalit in Malabon City, for example, to establish a new community-based treatment, storage, and disposal facility. In short, this is TSD. This community-based TSD aims to help local e-waste pickers properly handle and dismantle e-waste to protect them from environmental and health hazards. On the lower left of the screen, you can see a photo of the recent groundbreaking ceremony happening in the barangay. Finally, e-waste has been recognized by the GSMA. GSMA is the Global Mobile Industry Association. The e-waste zero program has been recognized as one of the global best practices for take back and collection programs. And on the right, before we switch to the next slide, you can see the list of some of our program partners, as well as our recycling partners. The biggest of which, TESAM for Philippines for Luzon and Maritrans Recyclers for Vismin. Next slide, please. So before we close, we just wanted to share that you who are a member of your government community, your community, your village, your company, you can all participate in e-waste zero in two very easy ways. So the first is you can have your e-waste dropped off in select Globe stores, or you may request for a free door-to-door pickup. Free door-to-door pickup wherever you are. Give us, please reach us. You can scan the QR code on the left for more information. And after this, we'll make sure to check all and manage your requests. Second, you can most certainly partner with Globe through a signed agreement should you choose to have a more regular kind of hauling arrangement with us. This is really our commitment, and investment goes to this, as this is really serious for Globe. You may send us a letter of request for partnership, or you could reach us in the next slide, which I'll get to. But lastly, on the right, you have a list of the types of e-waste accepted by the programs, all on the same page. So what are e-waste really, aside from the obvious, which are phones? To enlist, there's computer sets, IT accessories, even the large and maybe outdated kinds of machines like printers, fax machines, even TV monitors, mobile phones, home appliances from washing machines, irons, ovens, even refrigerators, cable wires, anything that electricity used to pass through it, we will accept it. Car electronics, circuit boards, CDs, and even DVDs. If you find some in your basement, those are useful for this program. A quick note, for batteries, this is different. This is called hazardous waste because these are, especially these lead and acid batteries, tungsten light bulbs, these fall under a different category. So it's just one of our FAQs. So just to close, let me just open. We want to leave you with a short video from Team Globe of Good. With that, maraming salamat. We wish you a wonderful afternoon, and I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you.
In the past year, the world has experienced tremendous changes, and today, we all continue to face many challenges and pressing issues that need our attention and action.
Climate change. We've read and learned about it, talked about it in many forums worldwide, and even made documentaries about it.
But the conversation should not stop. We need to work together to turn these conversations into action.
We care about our planet, and like you, we also want to do our share in saving the environment.
Together with our Globe family, we want to raise awareness about this even in our own little way.
Making even just small changes in our everyday routine makes all the difference.
We can start by properly segregating and disposing of our waste.
Ako ay buong pusong sumusuporta sa A-Waste Zero Project ng Globe para sa tamang disposal ng electronic waste katulad ng mga lumang gadgets, appliances at iba pa.
The program also helps us learn about the potential harm of e-waste to the environment and the overall benefits of e-waste recycling. I am donating my old gadgets to Globe's e-waste Zero program.
And we urge you to do the same.
We urge you to do the same.
Let's all take that first step
to living sustainably
and turn our words into action.
Join us and let us all do a globe of good.
Thank you, Miguel.
Shui.
Thank you. So please stay on screen, Miguel, because we're gonna kick off our panel discussion now. Very impressive yung binanggit mo, no? 1.4 million kilograms of e-waste since 2014. That's quite a lot. In fact, I think, thanks for sharing
It's been
this
going on
information.
for quite some time, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. In fact, I think I'm gonna contribute a few kilograms there myself. No, so thanks for that.
I can see a few electronics there, so hope we get those from the background.
Okay, good. Magagalit yung mga artist na kino-commission natin for that. So good. So welcome everyone. We have Bobby, we have Marian back on the screen, and Rommel. Si Gingay has had to go, so she won't be around for the panel. But we do have Bill, no, in joining us in our panel today. So before we get going, let's take a quick picture lang, ano. So if you could just look at your cameras and smile. Okay, there you go. I think that's good. Let's kick off with some questions, and then also thanks everyone for being so active in answering the questions in the Q&A chat box. Let me kick off with one question that's quite interesting here now. There are lots of questions on collaborating, no? So maybe let's kick off with that, no? We can ask first si Bobby, si Rommel, Marian, how can the folks in different cities and municipalities can get in touch with you to collaborate? Let's start with Marian, of course. Ladies first.
Thanks. Well, I think I'll write it again in the chat. I mean, obviously I have an email, but LinkedIn is also very good. There's not very many with my name in the world, so I'm pretty easy to find.
Okay.
But I'll share my contact details in the chat.
Thank you.
Sui, I'd like to say that probably the fastest, the best way is to communicate with us through DAO Philippines Facebook.
Okay.
That alone has given us a lot of queries. And what I wanted to point out is that some of the solutions actually didn't come from us. Some of them, like the plastic chairs, it came from local companies,
Right.
and the requests come from different communities.
Right. That's true. So also the partners, no, in the chain. Rommel, how about you and Miguel?
Yeah, for Green Ants, we can also be reached via Facebook. So Green Ants Builders, and we also have a dedicated team, no, for collaboration. So we call it the social franchising team, so that we can replicate what we have started here in Bulacan to different locations.
Thank you, Miguel. Hop on the e-waste.
Yeah, I'm about there. I sent it on the chat, but this you could email us or you could search us online. It's bridgecom@globe.com.ph, or on social media you can simply go Globe Bridging Communities. That reaches our team directly.
Great, thank you. And of course the QR code. I'm looking for a question that I can't seem to find it in the Q&A chat box now, but it goes like this. Now it says, would you be able to share some of your communication strategies to communities or the organizations you partner with, so the idea of people segregating the plastic waste that can be recycled and sending them to drop off or pick up points would see it as an ideal behavior? I think one challenge is how to engage community members and make the behavior appealing to them. Maybe I'd like to ask Marian to chime in on that question. No? So how do we encourage the community members to get involved, to make it to encourage that behavior, no? Or besides that, more communication strategies?
My level of expertise is mainly from Norwegian and European conditions, but I would like to share those. So please bear in mind that obviously there will be differences.
Yep.
But I think my main thing is that to showcase that it's actually being used for something. We've had a lot of skepticism here in Denmark on waste sorting, and but we are sorting a lot and recycling a lot. But then to really show that it matters and that it's turned into valuable products, I think is really key. And then maybe you can use it, but really the big thing here is currently to try and make it more the same way that the different municipalities sort, and to use the same sort of colors and pictures on the bins to kind of and then to use, that's actually really interesting, to put that like, so this is plastic, this should be sorted as plastics, or this is compostable, and to put that on the packaging so that people know how to sort it. That's really what's happening here. But I think we're starting, I mean, but we're not there yet. I mean, we have sorting systems. We have a lot of people not participating in it. So we haven't cracked the code yet, but these are my experiences.
I think Rommel had quite a bit of success there, no? Nationwide. Can you share some of your learnings on that?
Yeah. Thanks, Sui. So we are still iterating, but we had some experience like providing an incentive system, which is a bit tricky. We are incentivizing the organizations, the local government units, for example, here in Bulacan, in partnership with, say, Colgate, Palmolive, we are deploying hand wash stations to those local government units and schools who participated in the movement. And also for schools, we have this plastics to bond paper barter system, because we recognize that schools, especially now, they need bond papers to print the modules for the students. So we are addressing the need of the schools, and at the same time encouraging them to collect and turn over to us clean and dry plastics.
Great.
I was gonna add that I think it's very important for us to continuously work and develop a market for those particular products. No, if there's value, then somebody's gonna take it. So somebody's gonna collect it. It may not be the household. Let's say there's some household who may not find value for it, but a waste picker or somebody from the community may turn it over because it has value. Today, a lot of sachets have no value. That's why it's left over. So expanding the applications, creating demand for it is going to be essential.
Great.
Yeah. So if I may add.
Go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah, for us, I think one thing that worked with our campaign, which was a nationwide campaign, which it had to start with us. The campaign had to make sure it establishes that it started with an investment with Globe, so that portfolio itself is embraced by the community. Then the second is partnerships with partners that share the same seriousness is crucial. That we avoid any greenwashing. Greenwashing is it's all comms, it's all talk shop. So we design our programs based on the impact that we want. We did partner with Green Ants to that extent because the work that they're doing was quite fantastic. We did set our foot in plastic recycling as well, and because of that partnership, that really helped us implement programs with efficiency.
Correct. Speaking of which, maybe this is a question from Grace Tena. She asks, what policy support do you think is needed to promote the circular economy? And I'd like to kick this question off first with Marian to give perhaps, if not your view in your part of the world, but also perhaps what you're trying to espouse in this part of the world, you're trying to lead or to spark. Let's start off with you, Marian, on that.
Thank you. I mean, this is really a big thing of our TA, so I'm definitely speaking on behalf of what we're seeing here. I mean, I see great opportunities to be working with the producer responsibility. I do think it's important that we we put some requirements on reuse, not just recycling. I think my main, I mean, this is a big question. I think I mentioned three things in my speech on this, and this is on policies that promotes reuse rather than recycling, that promotes design for recycling, and that promotes that you use recyclable materials in your products. So this is something we could do in green public procurement, but we can do it through a lot of different policies as well. We'll be here the next 4 years. It's going to be a big thing also for a lot of various opportunities. I think the main thing is to be really not just banning plastics and substituting with other things, but to be working with stakeholders to then what to transition to.
Yeah. How about on the manufacturer side, perhaps, no, Bobby? How's that shaping up? No, do you have how does
Right,
that
right,
how's that transpiring?
Yeah, let me partly answer that question with another question, because there was an interesting question in the chat. And somebody asked, Dow, you're talking about processes that are large scale, no? I mean, capital intensive. And my first response was that, well, the reason why it's big, because the demand and the requirement is big. You need scale, no? But then the question really is, but then I thought what he meant was that, yeah, but how can we implement it in a geographically diverse country like the Philippines? And it is a problem, no? If you think about recyclers or those that will need extrusion machines, just how many extrusion machines can you really deploy across the island? So it does need. Right now, it's only in the city centers. So you don't really want to be shifting around waste across borders, no? So it is a problem, and that's why we really need to think about localized solutions, and don't underestimate developments that our entrepreneurs develop here. And not stick to world-size solutions that other economies have adopted.
Right.
So yeah, that was more of a question than an answer. Sorry, Sui.
Yeah. But I think that's something that needs to be, thought of. No, having fit for purpose size of solution depending where you are. In fact, there are lots of questions on that, particularly in the interest with Engineer Romer here. No, some questions like from Delia Josep saying that could LGUs collaborate with MRFs, diba? And so that they can work with an eco hub, such as sabi nga ni Delia here is sa Marikina City. The other question I think was I'm trying to look for it. How smaller municipalities, can get involved in this. Rommel, can you mention the answer to that?
Okay, yeah. Thanks for the question. We have a flexible and scalable model. So we have a small, medium, and large packages. So depending on the size of the municipality, depending on the availability of say raw materials there, so we can set up a green ants eco hub or a green ants plastic station. So in those areas where the requirements for building materials are not yet that high, we can set up a green ants plastic station. So one big enabler for us is really the collaboration with local government unit, because normally LGUs, they have this construction projects all year round. And if we can connect the Green Ants Eco Hub to the requirements of local government units, then we can definitely close the loop. And also, if an ordinance, say, will be passed in a particular municipality or city supporting green building or green building materials, then that's also a big enabler.
Correct. Tama. You got the supply side and then this demand side, and linking those together, that would be great.
Yeah.
No?
We can
and
close
perhaps,
the loop.
Yeah, and maybe that sort of answers the question of Bobby. the scalable. At least in the green ants model, there is that flex, di ba? Sa scale. Oo. Good. Let's have a question here from Sir Dinky Eisendel. So just a very interesting question, rather technical, but I think it's quite interesting because you mentioned, Romel, no, that the very durable, 5 times stronger yung ating mga products, no. Would that work for the likes of seawalls and maybe combine it with a bit of green infra, no? Is that something that could work? Or have you tried something like that?
Okay. For that particular application, we would love to collaborate, but we are currently working on with precast and other concrete products. So I think definitely this will work. So we just have to fine tune or tweak the formulation. Yeah, but really that's an interesting project to work on.
Good. I have a question for Miguel. No, what happens to the eco waste? Does it get turned into the Olympic medals of the next Olympic Games? Tulad nung nangyari sa Tokyo.
We have 4 years to be part of that value chain. But historically, we've looked at ways that the proceeds and collections go to direct social impact. So one example is the proceeds go to building schools. Before the pandemic, that was something that was very important to the Department of Education. So that brought together public and private partnership and consumer awareness of recycling. So it was kind of a nice trifecta of things coming together.
Mm-hmm. Good. I think we've answered all of the questions in the chat box. Unfortunately, Gingay is not around, but we'll relay your questions to her and then hopefully send the answers somehow back to the people who've asked the questions. Sir Bill, anything you'd like to add?
Nope.
Yeah. So I think that concludes our panel discussion this afternoon. And of course, our appreciation goes to our panelists and of course, the more than I think at some point almost 200 people in the audience today. So at this point, I'd like to turn over the floor to Bill, the chairman of our Livable Cities Challenge, for the closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sui. When we started this afternoon's lab, I mentioned that in case you were wondering what happens to the products that we throw away on a daily basis, we had the right panel to tell you where these products go, or where these waste products go, or where they could end up. And I think it's exactly what we learned this afternoon, whether we were talking of electronic waste or plastic waste in particular. And one of the things I wanted to emphasize here is that aside from the scale that you're looking at, and scale is important, but I wanted to make sure that people are not too intimidated by scale to make you feel that it's impossible, because actually these started from very small scale projects, and the execution was done in such a way that they could scale up. And scale is important because the problem is a large problem, and there's a lot of waste, particularly the plastic waste. The Philippines is, as already pointed out by Miguel, was third highest in the world, no, for plastic waste. And I remember looking quickly at the chart of Miguel, is that the world produces or wastes about as much as it produces in any given year. So that's a lot of single-use plastics getting out there. But so it does require scale. On the other hand, I think when projects start, when they start small and they start in many places, it illustrates that this is a very doable, implementable type of a project. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted this featured in Livable Cities Labs, because I thought that this could be implemented in many parts across the country, whether you're in a big city or a smaller town or municipality. This is good for all of us, and it can be done. No, I think the key here, as what Bobby said, is that how to communicate that there's an economic value not only in the final product, but in the reuse or in the recycling of the waste product itself. And so long as there is an economic value in it, someone or a sector of people or individuals will participate in the process of collecting and consolidating all these goods and sending them to the processors. And so we wanted to create this virtuous cycle. I want to thank our uh, panelists today, Dr. Marian Bigum, Bobby Batumbakal of Marian of ADB, Bobby of Dow, Romel of Green Ants, Jingay from Aboitis, and Miguel from Globe, and to Sui, of course, our moderator, for putting together such an engaging discussion today with so many great use cases and examples that I think are replicable in different parts of the country at different scales. So thank you for all those examples. I'd like to thank our partners, the League of Cities of the Philippines and Globe Telecom, for another exciting and fruitful discussion here at the Livable Cities Lab. This is our 19th that we've run over the last 2 years, and we noticed that these topics just keep getting better and better and more interesting. And so we try to always think of topics that we think will be useful for you at your respective LGU or region or province, whatever part of the country you happen to be from. So I'd like to invite you to our next uh, session. It's timed, of course, to go to run during the climate change talks. It's all about renewable energy, repowering cities of the future by transitioning to renewable energy. Our speakers will include Director Mylene Kapongkol from the Renewable Energy Management Bureau of the Department of Energy, Eric Francia, of the CEO of AC Energy or Ayala Energy, Quintin Pastrana, the CEO of Winergy, which is a smaller scale off-grid renewable energy company, Jay Lyog uh, of the DREAM, Developers of Renewable Energy for Advancement, and Anthony Coveney of Thomas Lloyd Group. Our partners will be, as usual, again, the League of Cities and Globe. And this time we're going to have an additional partner, the UK Embassy, the British Embassy here in Manila. And we'll hear about some of the net zero strategies. It's mentioned here today by Miguel how Globe is moving towards a carbon neutrality position by 2050. And in our next meeting, November 10th, we're going to have Eric Francia talk about how Ayala Group is moving to a net zero uh, position by 2050. So I'd like to thank all our partners and invite you all to our session next week. As we exit, you will see when you hit the exit button, you will receive a survey. We'd appreciate it if you could answer the survey. It gives us feedback and allows us to make improvements in the Livable Cities Lab. If you're on Facebook, just take a picture of the QR code to get to the survey, and it will enable you to give us the feedback as well. So thanks everybody on behalf of the Livable Cities Lab team, and we look forward to seeing you at our next lab. We're going to have three more this year: one on renewable energy, one on vaccinations and herd immunity, and a final one on intelligent cities in the next 2 months. So we look forward to seeing you at the Livable Cities Lab. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. It was excellent.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Hey, Romel, Miguel, really good.